rtfc.baconicecream.com.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Evercast, your weekly dose of Evercade goodness, showing up kind of whenever we feel like it. What's going on? I'm one of your hosts, Rich. We got Ed over here. What's going on?
Hey. You know what? It feels like it's been forever since the four of us because, like, real life getting in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, there's been all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So then we got Astro. What's going on? How's it going, man?
What is going on? I don't know.
Yeah. Lots of crazy stuff was happening pre-show. I showed up a half hour early, and we still wound up late. You know that means it's going to be a packed show today. Right. And we've got, of course, Pete, the EverCanadian. What's going on?
Yo, 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 yo. How's everybody doing?
Hanging in. So before I get to things like the pinned comment in the chat there, we're going to say hi to the chat. We got Douglas right in real early. What's going on? We got Dan Nastic in here. Blue Average Chris, what's going on? Skeletrix is in the house. What's going on? John is in the house. Snake Eater's in the house. Al's in the house. Dan Ruff. Lee Delve. Ian Hobbies. Robert is in the house as well. What else we got? Anyone else? We're good. Yes, we are off to the races. And no, you didn't get the time wrong. and also, wow, YouTube stays live in 3 minutes. They clearly don't know the Evercast. Yes.
Well, YouTube doesn't know what time it is.
Correct.
Oh man.
Yes, we decide. What do they say?
Hey, at least we do this podcast on a consistent day. That's all I can say.
That's it. It is always on Saturday. It's 11-ish EST. I think I just.
People should never complain. We are the most consistent and longest running Evercast podcast ever. So people
That's
just need to chill.
And we're the best one too.
That is very true.
We are the OG. We are the best. We are the only one. And you know what? I'm tired of being a nice Canadian. Screw that.
Pete's on fire today.
Gonna complain?
He's like laying down.
More like the nega Canadian.
Tired of being
Somebody just started an Evercade channel called For Evercade. I think it's hilarious.
Nice.
Put a 4 in front of Evercade, and I'm like, how has nobody never thought of that?
That's true. That is very true. That is awesome.
Brilliant.
We got some new people coming in. We got Zeus. What's going on? What's going on? RMGB TV is in the house. We got Karsten in here. We got people dropping in and out of the show here. We got Chris, the Atari Creep. What's going on? Got a new video, Evercade video coming out today or tomorrow. That's awesome. Be sure to look out for that. And of course, we got Brian F. What's going on?
He skipped over that one on purpose.
Yeah. Let's put Pete back in there.
What the heck happened there?
I don't know. All of a sudden, you're just
Canada just realized I went mean for 3 seconds, and
like, nope, none of that.
Can't have that. Our reputation is that big.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So got some really awesome things to talk about today.
Hey, before we get to that,
yes,
this is the first time anybody else other than Ian Hobbies is summoned me.
All right.
So yeah, that'll be a thing now to see who can summon me. Oh, I'm gonna play this one because Pete wasn't here. He missed this one last time.
All right.
This is for you, Pete.
Retro KillDashNine. Retro KillDashNine.
Yep.
I wish I could see his reaction.
That just happened.
Utter disgust.
Utter disgust.
That was
nothing less.
And you're assuming he didn't rewatch the podcast even though he wasn't on it.
It's not the same thing as life. Thank you, Douglas, for the summon.
But yes, very cool, very cool. So what's going on with everyone's week? How's it been?
Oh, you know.
Yeah. Yep. It's kind of my response.
Busy,
too.
but actually I did have a 3-day weekend, so it was nice just to take a Friday off.
Very cool.
Yeah. I like doing that so much. I did it for now till the rest of the year.
Oh, awesome.
Remaining vacation.
So Friday's off for the rest of the year?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
That's what I do every year.
I'm all about that. Getting some time off, getting some stuff done. I won't be off this particular Friday, but I will have to be here at the house as more people are doing things to the attic/roof area of my home. So I have to like let them in and then babysit them for an hour or two and then get back to work. But yeah, so all the life stuff is happening here on my end, and it's hopefully going to be done this week. And I just be like, "Dud, I'm done." Also coming this week from Crucial, who's the company that made the SSD that died on my computer, should be a new one, a new drive. Finally,
Dude,
finally put it back together.
I actually got my dead SSD back too from Samsung.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't really.
Now you don't need it.
Well, yeah, because I replaced it right away, and then
send it to me.
Yeah.
So did you only have to pay the shipping on that, Rich? Just send it to them and they just replace it under warranty?
It's under warranty. I mean, there's 5-year limited warranty on those drives, so like
That's awesome.
It was under warranty, so I just
You had
sent
to
it
pay
off.
shipping?
I did, yeah. It was like
didn't.
$10. Oh, Samsung
I want my
wins.
$10.
Samsung wins over Crucial because Crucial makes you send it your own freight back to them.
They sent me a UPS thing to stick on a package, and I just dropped it off at UPS. And
Dang.
Nice.
That was
That's
it.
super easy.
Hey, Andy. Thanks for stopping by.
Andy!
So, but yeah, that was pretty cool. So, what do you got there, Pete? How was your week?
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Just regular same type of week, work week, busy and stuff like that. And then Thanksgiving this weekend, so holiday Monday, so lots of turkey tomorrow.
Very
I'm
cool.
breaking my non-poultry stance tomorrow to have turkey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
people
that's
people
awesome,
seem
though.
to really like the dog.
Yeah. Yes. The dog was key, right? Dog was definitely key. So, all right, cool. Well, there wasn't much in the way of it, but there was a little bit of news in the Evercade world this week. In the dev diary over on the Discord, the official Evercade Discord, there was a little thing that popped up. Sean put up a video about a new feature that's going to be coming to the EXP, and then later on down the line through the VS updates. And that update is coin limits. So I'm going to put up this video here. And then what do you want? Do you want me to just kind of go over what Sean said in the Discord, or do you just want to kind of just start chatting about it?
Well, I mean, it's one thing. I don't know. There's really not much.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like a paragraph.
It's a feature I'll never use.
Yeah, that was
Who wants to use coin limits, really?
For competition mode.
Yeah.
There's so much because
it would only be worth it if they would just save leaderboards.
well, it's a step towards that, right? That's why I'm excited. It's a step
So
towards.
until there's saved leaderboards, there's really no reason to actually use it.
I
Yeah, I mean,
so.
unless you're doing a competition where it's you have to live stream or record your session, and then you have to record you putting in those settings before you start the game.
Yeah,
that's
that's true, but
Personally, I would never use it. That's all.
yes,
It's just it adds replay value to games, right? Because anybody can beat Final Fight with unlimited quarters, but could you beat it with 1? Could you beat it with 3?
but if that's your goal, you don't need to put this limit in the game in order to do it. You just not put in another coin.
I'm not that disciplined,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of beat 'em ups, you'll get 5 continues, 9 continues, and so I struggle between I want to get through and play the game, and sometimes it's really frustrating when it continues, but I like knowing that I'm limited. It makes it that much more exciting. So.
Oh, you know what would be cool? When we start up our Evercast competition, we could set a coin limit.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we have 3 coin limit. And
But
That's true.
again,
ooh,
It's your
I
live
could start a
stream.
new series on my channel when this comes out. The 3 coin limit.
See, that's
Yeah.
what I'm. Yeah.
There you go.
See,
I market it. If any other YouTuber uses it, my lawyers will be in contact.
yeah,
it's
that's what I mean. It's
you're
great for
live
content
streaming it.
creators.
I love this
Oh.
feature. Greatest feature ever.
There's an icon too in the upper right. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's it blinks at you. It's hey, no putting in coins.
But the thing is, if you're live streaming it and you say you're only going to use 1 credit and you wind up putting another credit in, it's obvious you're cheating. You're not doing it correctly.
Well, that's true, but I mean, having the hard limit of you just can't put.
Who cares?
You just physically can't do it. I mean, I think it's
What
cool.
you're
This
really
needs to be there before leaderboards, and I'm glad. I don't know. Maybe Blaze listened to me because I'm not loud with the people. I'm preaching this day one. That it
Well,
needs
yeah, because for arcade games in particular, leaderboards wouldn't really mean anything.
Yes. Well, dude, like the Capcom collection has that, and it's fun. Like with the free game, like 1943, playing it with 1 credit, just to see how far and you get better at the game too. You really do. You get better at the game too.
And if you wanted to do it like Galloping Ghost or like Twin Galaxies, it'd be only 1 credit. You'd only have a leaderboard for 1 credit.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm with Dan.
And then the cool thing is you can set that, right?
Yeah.
Man, who's like watching this video? It's not the coins I'm excited about. It's fun about the fact we got 18 Capcom videos coming built in.
Heck yeah. 18 games. Time played, play count. Yeah, see that? I love that.
Yeah.
Because then I like to know how much time. Now then
Well,
they all
you don't
need
have to look at your save file anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Now they just need to add like keep high scores without a save state. They just need to do that. And then online leaderboards.
This will be
or maybe even put a little part of the menu, like maybe above coin limit. It'd be like, last high score or whatever. Like local. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah. But I'm with Dan. I'd love to have achievements on this thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you why I'm not as excited.
Achievements, just make up their own, like, kind of be original to the Evercade, like the Evercade set of achievements.
I'll tell you why I'm not as excited about achievements, because like achievements, like anybody can do it. You just have to like put in the time. You just have to put in the time, but to pop. And for me, that's like more like of a single player completionist, but like leaderboards, that brings a community together, right? Because let's say there's only 100 people that do this, and you see like our initials and other people's initials, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like it's a small knit community. You're gonna want to try to beat that person for bragging rights.
Yeah. I think if they did the achievements less like Xbox and Sony and more like the patches back in the day, like kind of, you mean
like 1 achievement per game?
Yeah, something like that, right? Like something really special.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, this would imply maybe a profile system, obviously, but if you had a profile and they did do that, like kind of like a digital patch system, you could visit somebody's profile and then you can see all the patches that they have. That's kind of rad.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Pinball Effects does that, where there's 1 achievement per pinball table.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And then you can keep track of like how many games you've actually beaten. Like stuff that would be neat.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, and then like how ridiculous can one of the achievements be or whatever. Do
could
some
bring the community together too.
Like random game.
So, for me it's like now that they're getting the EXP out, it's like, slow the frick down and start building these types of features into the consoles. No more hardware for a while, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Just work on software now and get you've got your ecosystem, you've got parity between EXP and VS. Now start working on the software side. Like I'm not saying don't do controllers and stuff because that's pretty straightforward and easy, but like
and mugs. But
yes.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Not those little tiny baby mugs that everybody sells, like proper 15-ounce mugs.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you 100%. They're not going to come with another console next year. Give us just like a spinner, like joystick combo, like trackball thing, and then no other hardware. Yeah, I agree.
But it's funny. It's like I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but premium edition games. Yeah, we bought my collection, but it's funny because that was what made me think of premium edition games. You can get a patch like those Activision games, but there's one challenge too. You prove you did the challenge, and you really get a patch in the mail.
I just got Andy's joke. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was poor Gremlin Collection.
You can find and replace that with Interplay 1 and 2 also, and I'd be fine with it.
Or in some cases, some people would put worms in there, but not me.
You put a firm jam in it, like the console just blue screens. It's like, you don't want to play that.
That's a good confirmation.
And yeah, we were just talking about that too. It seems that regardless of what's going on in the UK with Royal Mail and their strike situation, stuff's going out anyway. So
isn't the UK like all the part of their economy is like teetering on the brink of like going into a recession too, right? With their new prime minister, apparently. Yeah,
well, I mean, with a lot of things in a lot of places, right?
Should have closed that door when they did.
Not looking great everywhere. So without diving into that whole
God.
rigmarole nonsense.
And that's the last thing I want to talk
Yeah,
about.
it's not looking great everywhere. So, but at least we've got some awesome games that we can get and play, which is going to be cool. So, and that's just a little more than a month away, guys. We're gonna be talking about this stuff, which is awesome. And then we're about 30 days away from the new release date of the two new carts, the Alma's Awakening and C64. They're coming out November 4th. It was that 1 week delay.
Yeah.
Now that we're on the 8th of October, that's less than 30 days away where we'd be playing those games, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought that was coming out the end of the month too. The end of November. I forgot
End
it
of
was.
November.
I wanted a bunch of those delayed to 2023.
No.
My goal.
No.
My goal
January,
is-
February, March is going to be the dead times, and the very people saying put them out now will be the first ones. Like, why don't we have anything for these 3 months?
Right.
I want it now. I want it now.
Every year is the same way. Those 3 months, people complain, "Oh, Blaze not giving us anything." Well, what's going on with Blaze?
You know what?
Yeah, but then
Well,
they just come out
a couple of
and
these cards.
boom.
I know I complain about like having too much. I'm like, give me the XP
You're,
and all the
that's
rest
what
of
I
the
mean. I
cards.
can't believe you
I
said
want
you
it.
want them, and you spent 8 months complaining about too much stuff going on.
I know, but now there's. But I also hate when there's too much of a. I hate when there's too much of a gap.
Well, if you take your time like me, you'd still have 4 more collections to play. That you haven't
I've not
got.
even dived into Renovation fully yet. Like there's so many other games I'm playing. You know what? I've been going back and playing all the old carts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that too.
I got hooked
it's-
back
it's
into
cool.
Pico again. So
Yep. Yeah,
Oh.
the Pico card is staring me in the face or something later on. But
I know what I wanted to say real quick. You know, I
Yeah,
was I appreciate the community. I'm at 476 subs, so just like have 24 of your friends go to my channel and sub to it.
or
It's-
24 people unsubscribe and really
I
get
don't
them
like your subs. They give me the diarrhea.
Oh no! Oh
Yeah.
no!
yeah, and over here we're not doing so bad either. Thank you so much, everybody in the community,
Yeah, I just want the freaking
for-
community tab.
for hitting those things. Yeah,
So close, so
um,
close.
Yeah, the community
Yeah.
chat's cool. It's
Yeah.
a double-edged sword, though.
which is a nice segue to start talking about some awesome stuff that's happening in the community. But real quick, just to finish up with the coin limit stuff. Sean said,
Can I ask Andy's question?
sure.
And Andy, it'll be the definitive version of the NES version. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh, for Alwa.
yeah.
There's 2 versions of the game. It's going to be the NES version.
NES definitive version, so more content and such. And I believe that is out on the Switch also.
You could buy both versions on Steam too.
Yeah, on Steam too.
Yeah.
I bought the 16-bit version on Steam, and I gotta say it's a pretty freaking remarkable game.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
it
looking
is.
forward to it.
It is a little more interesting than I thought. I thought it was going to be more kind of just not involved. But when I started playing it, there's a lot more depth to it than I realized. It's a really fun game.
And Cathedral's going to be an awesome game too. I mean, I was playing
Yeah.
it on Switch.
Cathedral could be like this. It could be like one of those games that just game of the year for Evercade kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can say that because it was ported. It is a Evercade game. It was
Yeah,
it
That's true.
made for the Evercade, right? Also,
Yeah, it's the first one on cart.
yeah,
it's,
first natively
native to the
ported
Evercade.
game to the Evercade.
Very cool. Very cool. So the last little thing that I wanted to mention in the dev
Oh, can I
dive.
say one more thing on Awa?
Yeah, what's up?
Even though it says it's the NES version, it feels more like graphically almost closer to a turbo style like game. I find like it's not quite 100% pure NES because it
Mhm.
looks a lot better than most
Well,
NES games.
Let's
Like
be
NES
fair.
1.5.
A lot of NES games aren't pure NES since they almost all use an extra chip to help.
Yeah,
the games.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like I don't think this game would have been possible on the NES in 1988 or something like that.
well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely stretching the limitations there. But
So when like all those new companies say, "Oh, it's an NES or it's a 16-bit," trust me, there's a lot more going on under that hood too. They don't have the
Yeah,
memory
yeah.
constraints.
The
a lot
only
of-
game coming up, the only game for sure that could get away with being a day one release on the NES was Micro Mages, because that was
Sure.
specifically made with the intent of running on base
and
hardware.
that Genesis one, Paperum, right? Because that
Yeah.
will work. That has to work on the Genesis.
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Anyway,
yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, and it's like I said, it's less than 4 weeks away, so I can't wait. Keep jumping in.
Man, I got to I want to catch up. I want to get through all the games I haven't played yet by the time those next cartridges get here.
Yeah, that's a daunting task.
No, I think I might be able to do it. Actually,
I think that of all the new cards coming, we haven't heard about Indie Heroes 2, right? We don't know when that's coming.
We don't know exactly when the release or anything because there's no pre-order yet. There's no like solid release date. I mean, on the calendar it said November 22 on the timeline, but we don't know yet. So
I think of the ones coming, C64 is probably the one I'm least looking forward to.
Oh, really? Huh.
Because it just has the least amount. It has the least amount of compelling games that I personally want to play. So,
well, I mean, you do have the C64 Mini too, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of the games are on
that. Yeah, but that controller is hot garbage, though, right?
You don't need to use that controller either.
That's true.
Look
you can use something else, though.
And yeah,
you're awesome, Chris.
So,
people don't like the like button.
Yeah, that's okay though. That's fine. But
it's not like we're getting paid by the like. We get paid by the dislike.
I get paid by the like now.
So yeah, the last sentence in the dev diary there from Sean, talking about the coin limit thing, is that the feature will hopefully roll out to VS users as well in future updates. And then he also says, I'm sure you can see some other cool things like game stats, new themes, new bezels, and they'll be talking about that in the dev diary a bit later. So as soon as they have some more stuff about those things, we'll bring that right back up on the news and talk about that.
You know what I would like to see though is talking about new bezels. I thought it would be interesting if they could do like a custom per game bezel, like a bezel that's unique for the game. So like, if you in your options you would choose, the I guess the game's bezel or whatever, the not necessarily bezel but border.
Yeah,
and
that
so
would be kind of cool.
If you play the game, it would be whatever the border would be for that game.
That would be neat. Yeah, because there's so many like really cool. Yeah, there's so many really cool bezels and artworks for a lot of these arcade games. That would be awesome to see.
That's what I was gonna say. I want to see like the cabinet of the marquee like around.
Yeah. I mean, even on if there was empty space on the top of the screen, you mean put the marquee up there. Why not, right?
I think they'll get there eventually. I mean, that would be daunting because they'd have to go back to like.
No, but they need to do
I'd rather. Yeah, I'd rather than maximize overall screen for a game than putting the bezel or whatever.
They need to come out with another Evercade with 2 screens so you can see the marquee.
It's probably in development.
But definitely new themes and bezels in general will be good.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that would be cool. So, all right, awesome. So now we're going to move on and talk a little bit about community, which we were just mentioning before, just a little bit ago. And there's a member of the community that I have the privilege of working with every year on his efforts for a walk that he does every year, and that walk is, of course, the Walk to End Alzheimer's. My buddy Chris, the Atari Creep, who's in the chat right now, does a walk to honor his father and other family members, every year, and he does a really awesome campaign to try to raise awareness for this. And we here at Bacon Ice Cream Productions have been helping out in a really as much as we can every year. And this year is no different. In fact, this year, actually, me and Chris teamed up specifically for a very cool thing that we're going to actually wind up giving away later on here this year after the actual walk event. So Chris does his walk usually around the September timeframe, but this year through scheduling, it actually is happening, if I'm not mistaken, next weekend is his walk. And then after that, I do a walk myself to try to raise awareness and efforts. So if you look at the pinned comment inside of the comments, there's one pinned comment. That comment is a link to his walk efforts. So if you want to learn more about what he does and the organization and everything, go ahead and hit that link. And if you've got a spare ducat or two and you feel the need, you want to help out a really awesome cause, you know what? Go ahead and hit there and toss a few dollars that way if you'd like. I'm sure he would appreciate that. I'm sure the organization would appreciate that as well. But what we normally do at the end of every walk year is we give something away because, hey, it's cool. We love the community. We love you guys. We love, hanging out and having good times and doing great things for good causes. And this year is no different. But like I said, the team up is really, really, really awesome. So without any further ado, I would like to formally announce this year's giveaway. And what it is, I'll show you the picture first, is Chrome tab, something that we would like to call the Good Times edition of an Atari VCS. So yes, that is indeed correct. For everyone in the chat just hearing, me and Chris are giving away an Atari VCS to someone that is going to be in this chat at the end of the walk period. So I think that winds up being, what is this now? I think we're looking at either Saturday the 5th of November or Saturday the 12th of November. So one of those two dates in November on the Evercast is the actual giveaway date. But I just wanted to make sure that people were aware that this is going to be happening. So, tell friends, tell family members, tell all sorts of cool people. If you know somebody that's looking for an Atari VCS, let them know and get them here on the Evercast. We're going to give it live away to anyone, subscriber or no. If you're in this chat, we're going to put you in a wheel and then spin that wheel. And then whoever winds up being the winner is the winner. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, of course, we did another giveaway for the 900 sub thank you. And that giveaway was entrance to additional entries into this particular giveaway. So somebody's name is going to be in there 10 times. And who is that? That is none other than Lloyd R. Jim, who I don't know if he's here today, but he is normally here. But Lloyd R. Jim's going to have his name 10 times on that wheel. But I will say this. During my walk efforts, right, I go to normally a place and tell you a whole bunch of cool stuff about stuff that happened in my life and all that kind of things, and play some games while I do a series. It's about a 4 or 5 day series that I do. During that series, keep your ears peeled and your eyes peeled to that series, because there'll be additional ways that you might be able to get another name or two on that wheel. So keep your eyes peeled on that. And make sure you hit all those YouTube things, notifications, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, so you get those notifications to know to watch these videos so you can get extra entries into that thing. Now, that's just a picture, right? All right, that's just a picture of a thing. But what what does the thing look like, right? Is it actually real? Do we actually have an Atari VCS ready to give away? Yes, we do. There's a box. This box is going to get sent to somebody. It actually has this cool little logo on there. Because it is indeed not just a picture of a cool Atari VCS, Walk To End Alzheimer's. My team up with Chris, and it's hard to see because it's midnight purple, so everything looks black. But trust me, this guy right here is the official one of a kind. There is one of these, just one, in the world. Atari VCS.
There you go. When you tilt it like, yeah, there you go.
You can see the purple right here. This is hand painted by Chris. I sent one to him. He hand painted it and sent it back to me. This is one of one. Walk To End Alzheimer's Atari VCS is going to be given away to someone in the chat. So, I figured, hey, you know what? It's an awesome time. Let's go out with a bang. Let's really do something really awesome this year for for this great cause. And like I said, it is all about making awareness for this cause and having a good time with you guys. So make sure you hit that link, share that link with a couple friends, all that kind of stuff. It's really about trying to get this awful thing. Make Alzheimer's a thing of the past, right? Let's just let's help out and do what we can, and have some fun while we're at it. So there is that, and get excited because it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to give this thing to somebody and have them have fun with it, because the Atari, I know this is the Evercade and it's the Evercast. We talk about Evercade all the time, but the Atari VCS is another cool thing too.
Yeah, this is important because we want everyone to get hyped. Get excited like this guy. Get excited. Sorry, that's what I think in my brain the whole time. I'm like, okay, now all the serious stuff. I'm like, I just have to play that. That's what I think of.
Yeah, that's
$1 million gets donated. That thing, the one-eyed purple people, it will appear. No, not really. But that would be cool.
Yes.
But that's awesome.
Yes, as Chris was
awesome.
saying, there is some metal fleck in the paint. Yes, it is. It is dark, but yeah, you can see it. It's like it's a bang on effort from Chris. It's really awesome. It's very, very cool. So anyway, get hype. Be here. Beginning of November, but the week that precedes that Evercast will be the Walk to End Alzheimer stuff. And this year, I'm going to go to a place and then walk about a mile at that place while talking about some cool things. It's going to be loud. I have no idea how I'm going to do this and make the audio work, but we're going to do it. And where we're going, not going to tell you until you see it. It's going to be awesome. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, let's move on to the main course, as we could say, of the Evercast, and that's talking about a collection, because we haven't done that in a while.
So, you know what? I think we have to start over because Phantom Fiction. Was
Phantom Fiction. Oh yeah.
Yes.
He's gonna have to. Hey, welcome Phantom, but also watch the replay for the last 10 minutes because you're gonna want to hear what I have to say. For sure.
Dude. Yeah, Atari Creep. I guess he liked my idea. He said if I ever got to $1 million, he'll make it up.
That's awesome,
dude.
That is awesome. Yes. Yes. I would love to see that happening. So we're gonna dive in and so we're gonna start talking about a collection again as we normally do. What is the collection we left off on? Of course, it is Renovation Collection 1, as the giant thumbnail of this video has told us. Where we last left off, we were at Final Zone is the next game that was on our list to talk about. Without any further ado, I think we're just going to jump in and start talking about it. Yeah, the last game we ever talked about was Exile.
Wow.
Yeah, you're doing them in the different order than I actually played them, but
That's okay. Keep you up. I don't know.
So we're going to Final Zone. We're going to do Final Zone, Gaiaris, Granada, and if we have time, Soul Dees.
I don't know if we're gonna have to look at the time. I mean,
I know. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be
that's
wild.
how we roll. We take like 30 to 45 minutes, and then we get to the main topic. So
that's true. But let's jump in and talk about some Final Zone. So,
or FZ Senki Axis.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Each one of these games has some like weird history about their in
fact, there's not just one Final Zone game. In fact, this is like a spin-off of the Final Zone series. There's Final Zone Final Zone Wolf, I think, was the first game. And that was like on Japanese computers. This game in particular, actually, I think originally was on the Sharp X68000, but also this is the Genesis port of that. And then there's Final Zone 2, which is on the TurboGrafx CD. And I think that maybe that's it. I thought there was a lot more games than that. I don't think there's a Final Zone 3. But the other Final Zone games aren't like this at all.
Oh my god, yes. That, you know what?
Yes. That was my one complaint about this game. That it makes it very difficult when you're supposed to be hunting down a particular enemy, but you don't have a map, and it would be helpful to know where on the map that enemy was. Otherwise, you're just walking around forever until you find them.
Yeah. I mean, there are radars in other games that we may talk about today that would have been very helpful.
You know what? A radar would be cool. But that, and I was going to say, once you get used to the controls, although I feel like this game would play better with a joystick, but I don't have one to test with. But this part, so I love this being able to customize your weapons and everything. Like I really like this game. It's different.
I think this
It's
game would
hard.
have been better as a twin stick shooter, but that
Yes.
obviously is not going to work
Yeah.
like a Sega Genesis D-pad or Sharp X68000. But what was interesting about the weapons is like your first two weapons that you choose is your main weapon and your sub weapon. Your sub weapon, the weapon in the second place acts differently than if it was in the first place.
Yeah.
But then the rest of your weapons are armor.
Yeah.
So when you take hits, you're actually losing your weapons. So it's
Yeah.
weird in that respect where your weapons are also your armor.
Yeah. And then your sub weapon uses up your energy, and your first one's unlimited.
Yeah. Your sub weapon winds up being more powerful, but uses up energy. So that's why for each situation you're in, you want to kind of rearrange your weapons to work better for what situation you're in. What's so kind of weird about this too is like some of the levels are like this, and then some levels are just one fight against one enemy. I think there was one level where you have to find something in particular in the dark, or you just had to destroy some stuff in the dark. I don't really I remember 100%, but all I remember is the final boss in this game is extremely easy because you
Really?
can start attacking him as he's like powering up.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
I got to like level 5 or 6. I think they're like 18.
Yeah, I only got to was it the third set of levels? Oh wait, no, this one I beat. Sorry, this one I beat.
Like if you wanted to see the end, I mean, this video has the whole game in it.
Oh no.
That's true. That is very true. But
Yeah, the first level is annoying. The first level is probably the most annoying one.
yeah, I can agree with that because there's so many like buildings and structures and things in the way, and then as you go, like it seems to open up more and more until like you're in this giant open field and you just like run around and beat all the enemies.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, there's only 5 enemies left. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, I know.
There they are.
Yep.
And then those jets. See, that's like when I first played this, I didn't know what you had to kill in those jets. They will just like, oh man. You gotta be
The
careful.
helicopters there, I think.
Or helicopters, yeah.
Yeah, the helicopters are the enemies, and they have like those little beam things or like decoy enemies. So they're like annoying and they can hurt you, but you kill them and they don't count to anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what's funny is like those things fly around. They don't do anything to you until you're almost done with the level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
But still, overall, I think it's a fun game. I'm glad that I got to experience it. I got to beat it.
Yeah, I mean,
And then the whole level explodes.
yes, yeah, you beat them and it's just like.
Great.
The
And then
best
even,
weapon
like,
in the game, though, is the homing weapon. Except it doesn't work with like 1 or 2 enemies or something.
Yeah, like even on the train, like you beat it and then like everything winds up blowing up, and then I think when you beat the train, the whole level blows up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, every level blows up, I think. Oh, you know what's funny? You know the name of the character that you play in this game is?
No,
His name is Howie Bowie.
Howie Bowie.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great that you know that. Howie Bowie.
Well, he's I think the main guy in all the games.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, like the other Final Zone games, at least the first one is not mech based. It's like a more of a like on the ground, like more of a commando type deal.
So would
Yeah.
you say is this game like a B? Is this game a B plus?
Are you asking me?
For just everybody. Like for me, it's like it's not quite like an A or an S tier, but I wouldn't. For me, it's not below average. I think it's it's above
I don't
average.
remember. I gave it a C.
Yeah,
I put it kind of below average on the against the rest of the games on this cartridge.
I mean, I think for me it might be just a tad higher, like B minus or something like that, because I just like anytime you like have a game where it's like, hey, you're running around in a giant mech just blowing stuff up, like I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
But the things that hold it back are the same things we just talked about. Like, man, this game needed some other form of control, because I had like amazing amount of times where I wanted to turn and fire,
Yeah.
where I'd hit the button and then it would just back up instead and be firing the wrong way. So you'd have to like
Yes.
double tap to move and everything. And it's like, it's so
Yeah, B-
frustrating.
because of that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Ballistic. Well, see, here's another thing. Like, you know those boss levels? Like, I think 2 would have brought it up to an 18 if this was more like a shooter. Like if it was just linear like that, then that also would maybe help because of the controls. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about this, Pete? Been hanging out.
Oh yeah, no, I like it. I'll just listen to you guys. It's a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
good. I mean, it needs a map. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah. No, agreed.
It's a pretty good. It's a pretty solid technical achievement when you think about it. For the fact that it's such a big world map and stuff like that. So for the Genesis, it's pretty cool.
Okay. Very cool.
So this game earns an achievement, but the Evercade doesn't have achievements.
Ooh. Cool. All right. Well, what do we got next to talk about? I think.
So what we got
Yeah,
next?
Are
Is-
there cheat codes for this game?
Oh,
Did
well,
I get
yeah.
cheat-
So if you're
Yeah,
if you're
there
having
are, like,
trouble
level
with
select.
Final Zone, you want
Yeah.
to go over the one that will get you through this game.
I didn't even remember what the cheat codes were. See here, if you go to config screen, there's a map option, so you could there's a level select, but then after you do the level select, you can do. Oh, you know what it is? I remember the code when if you down to one weapon, you can't die. Basically, you're invincible, but you can
Yes.
lose all your weapons except for one, which
Yes.
makes the game irritating to play. It's like
Yeah.
worse than death.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it does get you through because believe me.
Yeah, but
Right.
you're stuck with one weapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not fun. And then isn't there a level select too? I thought.
Yeah, that was the
There
first
is,
one.
yeah.
You have to go to config screen, press CC, start B, and then you hear a sound effect, and a new map option appears, and then you can choose the level to start on. And then the same thing with that invincibility code. It's on the config screen. You press A, start A, C, and then you hear a sound effect, and then that's when you're invincible.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the invincibility because
Yeah.
you still lose all your weapons.
I'm the kind of person like when a Game Genie came out. Yeah, it was fun to have unlimited lives and all that nonsense. But then I like to do things like to make the game harder. You know what I mean? Or make the game different.
I use the Game Genie to make the game weirder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like my favorite one was in Tekken was for PlayStation was to give some players the other players' moves. So the wrong models would have the wrong moves.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
man.
All right. So next up is Gaiaris.
Gaiaris. We
So-
didn't talk about this one already.
No. Well, I mean, you did on your videos because you did your
Well,
videos.
I don't know. Well, I know for a fact it's Gaiaris
Gaiaris.
because of what it means.
Oh yeah, like so Gaia is in like the earth, and then
Yeah, and then
Res.
res as in less, because there's no L in Japanese, so it's res, and they got rid of one of the S's for some reason. So it's really earthless because the humans are earthless in this game.
that's yeah. That's right.
I'm laughing at this because like I don't know, it made me think of like Game of the Month, and like I'm reading this in like Smeagol's, like I'm reading it in my head as like Smeagol's voice. So
Oh, and then the main villain of the game, they typoed her name every single time in this intro.
Oh no.
So, it's because it's hilarious. You remember what her name is?
No.
Should we just wait till it pops up because it's funny?
Sure.
I don't know how long it's gonna.
Natasha?
No, that's
Georgia?
the
Gregorio?
queen of that planet. Her sister's the one that's actually helping you operating that toes in the game. You're
Mhm.
flying the ship. She's supposedly controlling the toes.
Got it.
But let's see, is this it? We're gonna.
I don't know if I've ever watched this whole intro. I'm like, I just want to play the game.
Well, you're not interested in the story. You don't care what you're doing.
It depends. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Like, good lord, this intro is super long.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of the longest intros to date. when this game came out. I think it was like 8 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of there's a lot of story.
But man, I'm waiting for to see the
the name of the
yeah, I
person.
know what it is, but it's like it's taking forever to get there.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
it comes up.
Oh my god.
Her name is when it pops up on the screen is ZZ Bad Nusty. But
Easy, but
if you look in the manual, it's supposed to be Bad Nasty.
That makes more sense.
But it's in the game it says Bad Nusty every time.
That's hysterical.
The opening music here is awesome.
Yeah, here
Talking.
ZZ Bad Nusty, there it is. So I will say that I will say this about this game. Like right off the bat, it's probably one of the most impressive looking games that I've seen on a Genesis. Like it is like the further you get along in the game, the more things that are happening in the foreground and background of this game. It's just like it kind of blows me away, like how really, really good looking this game is. Very, very impressive.
This is a game Renovation advertised the most, I think, back in the day.
I mean, I would kind of agree with that, like that the mentality. Like he was, oh yeah, we got to make sure that we get this title out because, back in the day, you're looking for the game that stands apart, like looks the coolest, and unfortunately back then you didn't have like YouTube, right? You'd be like, check out this video, how cool it looks. You'd have articles in a magazine or whatever, and that would never do it justice. But the fact that you have like semi-animated stuff, like this cool story, all that kind of thing, very, very cool.
I love that what can the puny human race do? They're idiots. What can the puny human race do? They're idiots. I have to say it
What was I going to say about this? The advertisement. Do you remember the advertisements for this game in the magazines? How was always this game expert touting how Gaiaris was like the best shooter ever? You remember that?
No.
I never heard of this game until it was on the Evercade. Swear to God.
It turns out the guy that they in the ads that was the game expert just worked for Renovation as a game tester.
That's wild. Yeah, this
intro is
going crazy. Here, all right, we're going.
Yeah, and then there's no more story until the end of the game.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
keep
it's
it
just
chill.
like level after level after level, and then you're flying around, and you have like every time you beat a level, you move further in the map or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's super impressive.
Yeah. Music is great, and how you can switch, try to steal their weapons. For me,
Also, powering
Yeah.
it up too, because
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you get one weapon, you keep repeatedly get it again and again. You power it up and make it more powerful.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So you got to make sure that you use that like toss to like grab the same enemy. So you can't just like get your first power up and then blow everybody away, and then because you have to keep grabbing them again. So you keep one or two of them alive on the screen so you can grab them.
this would have been the game, like, if I had this back in the day, that, like, you would have played to death and you would have gotten good at it. But, like, now
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine playing it without being able to save state, like, at each level or halfway point and being
Yes,
able to go back.
that's the ad I'm talking about. And what's funny is the ad reads, he has a shirt that says, "Can you say Gaiaris?" And that's the wrong way to pronounce the
Guys
game.
are us. Oh, man.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's impressive to see all the stuff that's going on the screen and some of the later levels. This is the one I might actually just kind of like bounce around in the video, because the first level is kind of cool, but it gets crazier and crazier as you go along. Let me just.
Yeah, you can skip down further in the video. I've got the whole thing there.
Yeah. You get this one, it's like the water's filling up and all that kind of stuff. Let me find.
Oh yeah, somebody was having a problem with this boss, I think, and then for some reason, this video showed them how to beat the boss.
how to beat the
There
boss.
you go.
Oh wait,
For me,
I don't think the boss is coming up here.
I'll tell you where I get frustrated or I have a challenge with horizontal shooters like this. It's when like stuff starts to come from behind you too much, and then things come from the front, and you have to like zigzag. That's when it becomes a little bit tough. It's like, really,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And this game, I forget. Can you get some type of shields or power up? Or maybe I'm getting confused with Soul.
There are there's something. There's
Yeah, you can
two
get,
other powers that you can
Yeah,
connect.
you can get like a one-hit shield.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
that helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything else is all about like grabbing your
But
enemies to power up the toss.
Yeah.
But I believe you get 3 hits anyway. Like you don't. It's not 1 hit and you're dead. I think you get 3 hits per life.
Mhm. Yeah, I think yes, you're right. Yeah, there is the shield plus you can get hit a couple times for sure.
Yeah, this game makes me kind of like side scroller shoot 'em ups a little bit, but not much.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and for me, it's like this is kind of like R-Type on steroids, right? Like it's just like it's that slower moving side-scrolling shooter like R-Type is, but there's just so much more going on. It's just like absolutely insane.
Fly through the guillotines,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten. That's crazy.
and then you fight
it's-
death.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That boss is crazy. I think it's
This
actually
is why you need this weapon, because you need to be able to fire behind you.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because he does like this like flying around thing, but then you have to make sure you get high enough because his like hitbox is just his face.
I love how you're in this crazy world with all these giants and stuff, and you're flying F-16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The thing
yeah.
is that,
Check that out though. Like how like he does like that is like so awesome. This
Yeah,
definitely. I would say this is.
More than R-Type.
Yeah. Would you guys
all
say
the
this
bosses.
is this an S tier? Definitely. Would you guys say this is an S
I
tier?
said I put this as double S tier.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
for
Yeah.
the fact that it makes me kind of like side-scrolling shoot 'em ups. It's obviously like because like R-Type and all that, I never did it. So this one's pretty fun.
What's funny is at the end, before you can beat the game, you have to do a boss rush. You have to.
I haven't beat it
the
yet.
boss
How many levels?
Yeah, this is one. I'll jump into this one in Solies. Maybe beat a level or two, then get frustrated, take a break, come back to it because it's
This
just
is
for
a
me.
game
I
I
think it's that
have
challenge.
Ultimate continues on, to be honest with you, just so they can see all the crazy worlds.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Well, and
there's
this-
actually cheat codes that let you skip the levels.
No, I want to play the levels. I just want to have unlimited lives.
Well, you could do
Well,
that too.
so-
There's actually a code for invincibility. Or nothing.
There
can kill you.
is an invincibility.
No, I
Um,
want just unlimited lives. I still want to die and have that frustration, but I just wanted to see all. I don't know if I'll ever finish this game.
Oh, you know what? That's another thing with this game too that I want to say. I mean, maybe this and both Solies. When you die, you start way back. So like, like say you need save states or else you got to get good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
But that's
and-
common in shoot 'em ups like this, right? That they're not very forgiving with your checkpoints.
This one seems to
Yeah.
be more unforgiving.
And Sean, hi by the way, he's very right about the boss rush being very fantasy zone because at the end of the game, you start off the level by basically just going through every single boss again before you get to the end, which is nuts. That's
Which
like
is fun because the bosses are the best part about this game, I think.
Yeah, I
Hey, we're
agree.
good, Tony.
Go ahead. We keep clicking at the same time. I was like, oh, if I
Hey,
already
we're
told
good,
you.
Nice.
Yes, it is a get good.
Yes, yeah, 100%. But it's like, again, like the reason why I wanted to bounce around is because it's, like the more I played this game, the more I'm looking at all of like the crazy stuff that's going on in the background and all the graphics and everything that's happening. It's like, man, like this was a 16-bit Genesis game, and it does not look like it. It just doesn't feel like it. So, like going back to a comment from Skeletrax a little earlier, that, yeah, I mean, there was some serious like black magic things going on in that cart because I have no idea how this isn't just chugging. You know what I mean? Like, how does this much insanity happen on a Genesis and
It's all that
yet
blast
it even
processing.
works? Yeah,
No, that
the whole
is a good
blast
point
processing.
because, like, R-Type 3 on the Super Nintendo, that game has like massive slowdown, and this doesn't suffer that at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but you
true.
need the slowdown on that one just to make it playable.
Right?
It's by design.
So, but yeah, no, this game is awesome. So if I would
Yeah.
say maybe universally, this might be probably like, do we all consider this maybe the best game on this cart?
No,
Yes.
I don't know.
I enjoy a lot of other games more than
I
this.
don't know
Just
what game is the best game on this card.
genres.
I mean, I think if you bought it just for this game, you won't be disappointed. I mean, that's kind of.
I mean, I think you're right about that. Yeah.
But again, though, like a lot of people just don't like shoot 'em ups, right?
That's true.
They're
Yeah.
not very approachable games for
I mean, for me, I thought I was gonna really get into all the the two RPGs that were on this cart, and I was like, oh man, because I'm such an RPG fan, I'm gonna like, oh sweet, I'm gonna really like those, and then maybe I'll get into the shoot 'em ups. I found it completely the opposite. I'm into
Yeah.
all these shoot 'em ups, and then the
What was-
RPGs were like kind of like mildly disappointing, and I was like,
Are you considering what was the other RPG other than Treasure?
well, I mean, technically Exile like kind of counts as
Well,
an RPG.
that kind of is, but it doesn't really. Yeah.
I have so. I
there's
have a
a
theory. I think I have a theory of why maybe people don't get into shoot 'em ups, and I don't think it has anything to do with the difficulty. I think I'll tell you what it is, and you can blame Nintendo. Like most games, like your Mario, your Link, you're like some type of like human character that you can identify with. But in shoot 'em ups, you're the ship, and so I think maybe some people can't see themselves as like being that pilot. Maybe they can't identify and get into it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my.
I'm piloting the ship.
And that's kind of my theory. But like, what really got me.
Remote control. You're just
Yeah.
you're off in another ship off to the
I'm
side.
just, yeah, I'm just saying because like with me, like I like you know like Gradius and like Life Force and all those, but like the Guardian Legend for NES, like that really got me into it because you're like a dude and you transform into the spaceship. So that game kind of really got me more like into
Yeah,
shoot 'em up. Anyway, that's just kind of my working theory. Other than I think that maybe some people just can't identify with the character or whatever you are. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but yes, with a bullet, very cool. Very cool game. Definitely worth checking out.
Did you get
for sure.
the hidden weapon in the game?
I did not.
You know what the hidden weapon is? Ed, you know the hidden weapon.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't. I couldn't remember how to get it, and I know it's hard to
You
do.
get it. You have to shoot. You have to shoot the toes out
Somebody else
times
heard of it.
without hitting anything.
Oh, really?
And then I can't remember. Let's see. Like you have to shoot it out 6 times, and then the next time after that it attaches to something, you'll have the hidden weapon in the game, which blows every other weapon out of the game. The only problem is you can't take it to the next level. You have to do it again.
Yeah, you have to do it again. Yeah.
But it's a lot harder than it sounds to do.
Well, yeah, because there's so many things on the screen. You're bound to hit something with it. Yeah.
Oh, Dan. Yes, it totally is.
Yeah.
Ah.
Although I did have fun with Beast Wrestler, and I stuck to it. I stick to having fun with Beast
The
Wrestler.
funny thing is, I didn't even rank Beast Wrestler the lowest game on the cartridge.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, so what do we think, guys? You got time for one more?
That's
Sure.
up to you. How many are left on the cartridge?
Yeah, I've probably got a jet soon. So
All right. Well, we can just do we do 2 shooters today and 2 shooters next week. Then, we can do because it's Granada and Soldies. We can do those next week. That's fine.
Are those the last 2 for renovation?
Well, those are the last 2 shooters.
Oh,
And then after that, it's Treasure, and then the 2 Valis games.
Treasure.
So, and we
Trade
can-
you for another game. Like trade you for another game.
You can't really talk about Treasure unless you spent 15 hours with it like I did.
See, but I'm glad I didn't waste a bunch of. See, that's like your typical. I hate to say it, but that's like your typical like Genesis game that you would like rent. That would just be you're like, thank God I didn't buy it because Genesis had some stinkers for some RPGs like that. But then you have Fantasy Star that's like awesome. So I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
I still gotta
mean,
beat that on hard.
But I kind of agree with Douglas there saying like, hey, there's games you can't get past X level, but you still enjoy it. There's a number of games that I actually have that same relationship with. Like there's games where I just try to play, and then it was like maybe one day I'm going to beat this stage, and then it might take a month, it might take a year. There's some games that I've never completed because I just can't I just can't get through it.
I think the
But-
problem is, and people have said this a lot, that nowadays there's so many different ways to play games. You're an adult, you have more money. It's not like when you were a kid and whatever cart you got, you played it to death because that's what you were stuck with. So I think being disciplined, right? It's like it's tough.
Well, and I freely admit right now, as far as Gaiaris is concerned, I old man moaned it through the last part of that game because I just couldn't. I was just getting owned. So in that game, you can do like the invincibility code, which in and of itself is actually difficult to produce when you're using it on the handheld, because you have to hold left and hit A and C at the same time, which on the Evercade is X and B, and then also hit start. So you have to hit like those 4 buttons. So you have to like claw yourself to get all the buttons pressed.
I know that there's some codes that won't even work on the handheld because you need 2 controllers to do.
Yeah.
So you know what's interesting, and I know you told us this kind of before we started, Richie. You said you played through some of these games like on the handheld, and you own a VS. And the reason I bring this up, and kind of why I'm looking forward to the EXP. I know this kind of sounds silly, but like sometimes it's just easier just to like pick up a handheld and just kind of play it forever.
Yeah.
Than just like go over to a TV and put in a control. I know that sounds ridiculous because there was one point where I was like, I don't want to play on this little screen. I want to play on a on a big TV. So I find that, and that's one of the reasons I'm like looking forward to the EXP, because I think like for me, being able to play on a better screen and being and being able to have like faster USB charging and all that will be
100%.
Make all the difference.
And the thing even about the charging thing was when I came home from work on Friday, I knew I was going to play some Renovation because I wanted to let's see where we left off. So I quick looked at on my phone where we left off in the game list, and then I was like, all right, well let me grab the cart and put it in. I put it in the handheld, but I hadn't played the handheld in a little bit. The one I was playing on anyway. So I plugged it in and charged it. Went to dinner and came back. And the reason I played on the handheld last night instead of sitting here in the studio and playing on the VS was because we were just hanging out in the living room, and my wife wanted to watch a show or whatever, and I was like, oh well, I can like half watch. We're watching the Great British Baking Show right now because it's a good time. So you can half watch that show for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just in the living room, and then it's like, oh well, we're getting ready for bed. Well, we were 2 episodes behind, so we watched 1 episode downstairs, and then we went upstairs. And I was like, well, I don't have my VS upstairs either, so I just took the handheld with me. So it was
what I let it has its own screen, and so it's kind of interesting because I think like Blaze saw the way the market. So maybe I should do a dedicated video on this, but just take a step back. Like I don't think people realize like all like the knockoff like Chinese handhelds and everything have been like great like for the market. Like it's really like pushed everybody's interest, kind of like the same way like Arcade 1UP has for real arcade machines or whatever. And so like I think Blaze kind of saw that. Like I mean, Valve came out with just the Steam Deck. Like they kind of knew. So they're like, hey, we need to update our handheld. We need to get into this ecosystem. And so I think it's great. And so now like I'm kind of back where like I just want to play handheld, but I want to play on a better screen. Versus before I was like, yeah, the OG handheld screen is fine, and it was for a time, but maybe now I feel like a little bit spoiled. Like, yeah, I want to play it on that, and then I'm like, well, will I go back to the VS? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like seriously,
I always played mostly on my handheld. Like,
yeah.
It's almost like play on the TV now. Like,
I only played on the handheld when I was on vacation.
I always played on the handheld. Like whatever console I have. If the PlayStation 5 had a handheld and Microsoft had one, I'd probably play on that too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a handheld gamer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a handheld gamer with a handheld show, right?
He's a handheld dude who's our handheld bro. There we go.
That's it. Oh,
gonna make a whole song.
It's a little rap about the Crankcast as we go into final thoughts. So you guys had
did you play that on the white or the purple handheld, Rich?
Yeah,
sorry.
You guys had what's up?
Did you play that on the white or the purple handheld?
White.
Oh wow! So you went
Yeah,
full
my
OG.
travel handheld. Yeah.
Nice.
So, but
that'll be called the Travelcade.
Yeah, well, it's the one that it's the one that's kind of like the most beat up. So it's just like, oh, I'll just play on it because this is the one that Douglas grabs and plays and whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's out, so let me just play it. So anyway, but But yeah, so speaking of, you guys did the Crankcast on last week, and your go live time was right after my my birthday dinner. So
Sweet.
I had to catch that on the replay. One of these days, you're gonna see my face on that. I'm gonna get in there and see it. Say hi with you.
What'd you have for your birthday
Again next week.
We went out to a place called Koto, which is a hibachi restaurant.
Okay, hibachi, nice.
Oh,
Very, very cool. And they do gluten free, which is even better because I can't eat anything in that place without it. So
nice.
So yeah, it was a very good meal, and it was cool. It was a little loud for some of the kids. There was a little bit of a some family noise drama in the very beginning, but everyone settled, had a great time, had a nice cake. My wife went out to a place called Nothing But Cakes, and they make these giant gluten-free cakes. Oh man, they're so good.
Dude.
Actually, a piece left over.
Notice how towards like the end of the show we always start talking about like food because it's like
Food, yeah, because we're all getting hungry.
Foodcast. Food.
Said food.
Oh,
So,
man.
Yeah,
Cool.
so it's very cool. So what do you guys got coming up? You guys got some cool stuff coming up?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
It says yes.
Yeah, I got some cool stuff coming. I always got cool stuff. I think.
Yeah. It's very, very, very neat. Very neat.
Evercade stuff, Steam Deck stuff, Playdate stuff. Thinking about getting the new Logitech G Cloud, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What is the G Cloud?
I don't.
Yeah,
You
it
could
is
just
a good cloud.
you could just stream all that off of your Steam Deck.
No, you can't play certain Windows games on the Steam Deck.
Mm.
I don't want to put Windows on Steam Deck. That defeats the whole purpose of
Yeah.
owning Steam Deck.
Right.
Huh, never heard of that before.
Yeah, I saw a video like this dude by the Duck Wizard. You can like dual boot it. It's like it's great. But here's the great thing about
modify stuff like that. Seems
Yeah.
like the Steam Deck for emulation. And I'm like, that's not my jam.
But here's the great so maybe more of a card topic, but here's the great thing that Steam Deck did, because I know somebody asked like, is the Steam Deck, is it a console, is it a PC? And my answer to that is, by modern day standards, it's a console, but it's open, but it's completely open. Like, in other words, you have a PS4, a PS5, you can't change boot screens, you can't go into the direct, it's Linux, so they, Valve is like, we don't care if you load Steam OS, you can load Windows, you can load any of their games. So I think it's great that they've unlocked it, if you will. Versus, which is kind of nice, but like the Evercade, which is nice, it's like the exact opposite, which I think is great. It's like, here's a device, we get, we won't let you shoot yourself in the foot. It's plug and play. You'll get certain options. And so when we see features like 1 coin credit, we're like, yay! You know what I mean? Like, I like that. It's more Apple sized. Like, here it is. We're going to tell you all what features you want, what you need, and you're going to have a good time because you're not going to be tinkering with it. So it's neat to see like the contrast and comparison of all the different. Of all the different things. Sorry, we went way off topic. So actually, what I have on my channel, yeah. So for me, I don't know. I'm still about the EXP, but I find so like, okay. So we always talk about this, right? Like, I like to be involved in the Discords. I like to be involved in like the Facebooks and all that. And sometimes they are just those like, people out there who have opinions. And so so my next video is about like somebody making the ridiculous claim that like the Capcom collection is behind a paywall. And by the way, one thing I want to throw out there too, like when you all see like my thumbnails and I put like, is this possible? Or were we scammed? It's like, it's for the other people that aren't like sub to me. So it's like for the audience beyond this, because I'm trying to get those other people to reach it. So if people are, not that anybody said you're clickbait, but it's like, I'm trying to reach that audience beyond y'all. Obviously y'all know the answers to that. So if you wonder why my thumbnails are a little bit dramatic, it's to try to catch other people's attention.
Technically speaking, everything's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
it's
it's
not.
also
No. The paywalls is a very specific thing. Very specific.
You have to buy a handheld to play the games.
I looked up the definition. That's why it's ridiculous, because it doesn't apply. Like, yeah. Anyways, I don't fully go into it. But you can comment on my video after when it's out too.
Very cool. Very cool. What about you, Crow? You got some stuff coming?
Not really. I'm actually gonna stop with the per game videos, at least not for every game, because I've actually played through more than what I've posted. So I played Premier Manager 97. I've played the Utopia games. I'm actually trying to put together videos to put on the Capture channel for that. But I just might go through all the rest of the games without putting, videos up for them just to try and get caught up. There's probably some of them that I will, but I'll try and pick and choose which ones to do, and maybe that's how I'll do things going forward. Also, when I finally do the collection video, I'm considering not doing it without a script, because I've been doing all the I started doing them without a script, and then I kind of wanted to do a script, and that's when the video started getting really, really long. So maybe if I do, but the thing is, though, if I do it without a script, the problem is I'll be editing the video. I'll be like, oh, I wish I would have mentioned that, or I wish I would have mentioned this. But maybe I'll just not. Maybe I'll just try to keep it as short as possible. And
but then you can go back in. I've done that and be like, hey, this is future Ed here. Sorry, or you can put words on the screen when you flow.
Yeah, but
I think it makes it more fun.
You start going in and adding more stuff, then you're starting to add time in the editing process.
That's true.
Would have been eliminated if you just scripted it to begin with.
That's a lot of work, though. I know. There's different styles for me. I like to be more natural, come off on a rant. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can see why you'd want to write it out, because it's more structured. I totally.
But I need to get things moving again, and the way I've been doing things don't move.
Hey, what are those on your fingers, by the way?
Oh, my fingers are cold.
Oh, I was like, are those Band-Aids or those
No, they're actually. What's funny is that technically these are they're for mobile gaming. So, but yeah, I'm just wearing.
It's like what banks used to have, thumbing through a bunch of money. I'm like we
That's
actually, I don't think this grips anything very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. But it's been driving me crazy the whole stream. I'm like, what is that?
What's funny was I was wearing these last ones too, and I was like, oh, nobody really cares, huh?
Yeah.
I noticed. I was just like, I wonder if it's I didn't notice it was both thumbs and a finger. At first, it was I thought it was only one thumb. I was like, that's probably a Band-Aid or something. All right, well.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Nice.
Took him off though.
So, and then over here, on the bacon ice cream side of things, of course, still waiting for that part to come in so I could really get myself back in action. As OBS, my assets and all that stuff, it resided on that old drive that died. So I gotta put that all together when I get my drive. So hopefully that'll be all good soon. But until then, on my personal channel, which is just Retro Rich Haywood, I'm probably gonna be playing a lot of that thing. And what I'll do, I've been trying to do actually, is I'm gonna start to play some of the Capcom releases. They're gonna be of course, released on the Evercade EXP in that collection. And I'm probably going to start playing those streaming. So if you guys want to pop over, it's gameplay only, and it's bad gameplay only. You're going to hear a lot of the coin button on my gameplay, but it's all good.
It's just one of the games on that collection is Mega Man 2, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not on the it's not on the thing.
But it just occurred to me. Are you going to start speedrunning the game, Ed?
Oh yeah, speedrunning. Oh yeah, that's right. Speedrunning with Mega Man 2.
Mega Man 2.
That's right.
Category Evercade edition.
Yeah, I guess you're all happy now. OBS and Steam Deck is fit. Yeah. Well, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I don't have a Stream Deck anymore, but yes, that is a cool thing that they finally fixed it.
It was fixed within a week.
Yeah, that will likely make me want to go and get one. They do that every once in a while though. OBS will have some kind of weird update. It'll break Stream Deck, and then you have to wait for them to fix it again.
It wasn't necessarily Stream Deck. It was the WebSocket plugin that updated.
Got it. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's pretty much that. So, thanks everyone for joining in, those early and late. Don't forget too, this is one of those ones, if you're here and you've just been hopping around and you're like, oh well, I only watched a couple minutes of the stream. No, this is the stream. You want to go back and watch a whole bunch of stuff, including the 10 or 15 minute segment where I talk about what's going to happen with the giveaway. So don't forget to go and watch that and listen and further watch here on Bacon Ice Cream Productions for more stuff related to that. So, but yeah, until then, we're going to catch you next time for some more renovation next week and some more good times. Maybe even some more news.
Bye, everybody.
So, yep. All right. See you guys. Take it easy. Have a great weekend.